Hello, and welcome to Wheels Up. I'm Sierra, and I'll be your host. I am so excited to take you on an amazing journey, brought to you by the Sunrise Association, Sunrise Studios, and our friends at American Airlines. While we're on our adventure, see if you can spot Wings, our special airplane friend, in 3 different places. After our adventure, please join us as we do a very special craft in the Sunrise VX Treehouse. And last, but certainly not least, we will wrap things up with a very fun game of trivia. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts and let's go on an adventure. Here to kick us off is a special representative from American Airlines.
Welcome passengers, I'm American Airlines Flight Attendant Delaney Bailey. Welcome aboard our very special flight today with the Sunrise Association and American Airlines. Are you ready for a fantastic adventure? Buckle up, sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight.
Hello adventurers! Have you ever seen a toilet seat decorated with Pez dispensers? Or visited the birthplace of instant noodles? Or gone to an underwater art museum? My guess is the answer is a big no, but do not worry, it will soon be a big yes. We will do all of these unusual things and more on our tour of extraordinary museums. Maybe you're a spy buff and want to check out the coolest spy tools and gadgets. Or you're curious about how dog collars have changed over the past 500 years. How about playing in a giant pool of sprinkles? Or noodle seasoning? There really are museums dedicated to the most amazing things. Let's check them out. Fasten your seatbelts and prepare for landing as our American Airlines flight touches down in Boston, Massachusetts for our first museum visit. Have a life jacket handy? Our first museum is a floating museum. It's on a ship. No way! Welcome aboard the USS Constitution. Fun fact number 1, the ship's nickname is Old Ironsides. That's because in a battle with a British ship more than 210 years ago, the ship seemed to almost bounce cannonballs off its sides, as if they were made of iron instead of wood. The ship is a museum, but it's operated by a real naval crew. See those sailors? They can answer any of our questions about the ship's history and how the Navy is a part of it. We can see where crew members live and even where the ship's cannons are. We won't be firing them, but we will be building our own vessels with Lego bricks and floating them in a water tank. So fun! This museum gives the phrase, all hands on deck, new meaning. A totally extraordinary museum just under 2 hours away from Old Ironsides is the Eric Carle Museum of Picture Book Art in Amherst, Massachusetts. Are The Very Hungry Caterpillar and Brown Bear by author-illustrator Eric Carle some of your all-time favorite picture books? Then this museum, known as the Carle, is the place for you. We can listen to our favorite stories or read books. Sometimes there are even musical story times and puppet shows. We can make art, enjoy a picnic, and even walk through wildflowers in a 100-year-old apple orchard. I love that! Now, picture this, a museum all about exploring and playing. Our American Airlines flight is here to take us to the Children's Museum of Manhattan in New York City. A museum all about play? That sounds amazing! And our friend at CMOM, as the museum is called, is here to take us on a special tour.
Hi, welcome to the Children's Museum of Manhattan, also known as CMOM. I'm David Rios, the Director of Public Programs and Curator of Contemporary Art. I'm excited to take you on a tour of Inside Art, Create, Climb, Collaborate.
At CMOM, every research-based exhibit that we create is designed to support the natural way that all children learn, which is through play and exploration. Today I'm excited to take you on a tour of our exhibit, Inside Art, Create, Climb, Collaborate. In this exhibit, you're invited to climb through and explore sculptures and installations by various artists. All the artists and art selected for this show encourage community, collaboration, and immersive exploration of different ideas on the concepts of home, identity, and community. In addition to exploring these extraordinary sculptures and installations, you can join the CMOM Public Programs facilitators in the exhibit and the CMOM Makerspace for any of our many daily art projects. When you visit Inside Art, you can explore our City Canvas, a 2-story, multi-room installation that you can climb, crawl, and jump through. You'll even find opportunities to leave your own mark with collaborative artworks. Other ways to collaborate with artists and our CMOM community include the installation Wish. Visitors can come sit by a calming pink, floor-to-ceiling tree sculpture and write a wish, hope, or dream on an Emma, a wooden plaque that can be hung on the installation for others to read. With the addition of new wishes over the course of the exhibition, this installation will continue to expand and grow. We hope you enjoyed this brief tour through Inside Art. We're looking forward to seeing you at CMOM and hope to see you soon.
Did you ever think that museums could be this much fun? Something tells me that our next stop at New York City's Museum of Ice Cream will be pretty sweet too. So, what's the scoop on this cool museum? Let's slide down this twisty tube slide and find out. I love to eat ice cream, but here we can play in it too. Well, in the toppings anyway. Fun fact number 2, we can jump into a giant pool of sprinkles. We can play on the swings, ice cream scooper seesaws, and in a pink bouncy house. I'd love to do that. And of course, we can break for some ice cream treats.
Totally yum!
Good thing we're fueled up because we'll need some energy for our next stop, Spy Kids. Spy Kids?
Mission critical, time to split! Carmen, we have to go!
Our American Airlines flight is here to take us to the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. Fun fact number 3. At the Spy Museum, we can go on a real mission. As soon as we enter, we answer several questions to determine what we must solve or do during our visit. Let's keep our cover as we explore the massive museum to look for clues. This exhibit has cool facts about famous spies in history, and it goes all the way back to the 1500s. And check out these awesome spy gadgets, like this coat with a buttonhole camera. And check this out, video messages from actual spies. How cool! Our next mission, if we choose to accept it, is in Texas, and our American Airlines flight is here to take us there. The Toilet Seat Art Museum, yes, you heard that correctly, is in San Antonio, Texas. Fun fact number 4, it's the largest and only collection of toilet seat art. A plumber named Barney Smith started it. The artwork celebrates famous people, each of the 50 states, and historical events. What a fun rest stop! Huh, get it? I don't mean to be a party pooper, but it's time to hop on our American Airlines flight to Cancun, Mexico. We'll have to dive in to see the exhibits here because they're under the sea at Cancun's Underwater Museum of Art. Fun fact number 5, the museum has over 500 underwater sculptures. The fascinating creations are anchored to the ocean floor. Look at these life-size figures. And this Volkswagen Beetle covered with plants and swimming with sea creatures.
Unbelievable!
Grab some scuba or snorkeling gear to see the sculptures up close. Here comes our American Airlines flight to take us to Japan. What's more warming than a cup of hot instant noodles? A trip to the Cup Noodles Museum in Osaka, Ikeda, Japan. Check out this tunnel covered with more than 800 instant noodle packages. Are you inspired to design your own noodle package? Let's do it! I know we shouldn't play with our food, but at the Cup Noodles Museum in Yokohama, Japan, we can climb a noodle net and jump into a seasoning pool.
Does that look fun to you?
I could play here all day, but our American Airlines flight is here to take us to our last museum on this tour. It's in England. Hop on! Calling all dog lovers! This museum is dedicated to the animal known as man's best friend, or at least to their collars. Dog collars over the past 500 years are on display at the Dog Collar Museum in Kent, England. And the dog collars on display here are pretty unusual, like these that hunters used long ago to protect their pups. The thick iron collars were covered with spikes to help keep the dogs safe. There are some fancier collars for royal pups made with metal and velvet. which is perfect because this museum is located inside of a real-life castle.
Wow, that's amazing!
Only the best for our best friends. And only extraordinary museums on this fun tour. Which museum was your favorite? Think about it as we get ready to make our own museum-worthy works of art in the Sunrise Treehouse. Our American Airlines flight is here to take us there.
Wow, that was such an incredible adventure. We discovered so much. Did you spot Wings the airplane? Great job! Time to get back on board our flight. Our next stop is crafting in the Sunrise Treehouse.
Hi, I'm Jess, and we are going to be doing some exciting crafts today. Today, you went all over the world and visited different museums, such as the USS Constitution and the Eric Carle Museum. So, the arts and crafts we will be doing today is a 3D boat and a painted paper collage. I'm so excited to do these crafts. Come join with me. Here are the supplies you'll need. Project 1, 3D boat. Construction paper, 4 of any color. Drinking straw, 1. Markers, crayons, or colored pencils. Scissors. Glue. Project 2, painted paper collage. White paper, multiple pieces. Paint brushes, tissue paper, scissors, glue, optional, drinking straw, pipe cleaner, plastic fork, string, or anything to make fun textures. Our first craft will be a 3D boat in honor of the USS Constitution. You will need a few pieces of construction paper for this project. So, I'm going to have my background be blue, and I'm going to cut out some waves to make my sea, because the boats are on the sea. You'll need some scissors for this to cut out all the pieces of your 3D boat. You'll also need some glue to glue down, but before I glue, I like to lay everything out to see how it will look, because once you glue it down, that's it. For my boat itself, I'm going to use purple. The boat's shape can honestly any shape that you would like, but my boat is going to be a classic boat, which is a semicircle. As a reminder, you can always ask a grown-up for help when cutting things out. I'm going to use my green construction paper to cut out my sails. I'm going to make my sails rectangular. Now that I can see it laid out, I'm making just modifications to my sails. I want to make it bigger, middle, and smaller, so it goes in descending order. I'm going to assemble my sails on the mast. This will be the 3D aspect of my craft. I'm going to be using a straw, but I'm going to cut off the bendy part. The next thing I'll be doing is poking some holes to get my straw through my sails. You can use a scissor, a pencil, or you can ask a grown-up for help. I'm going to try to use my pencil. I'm holding it down now to poke those holes. You can always make the holes bigger for the straw. And I'm using my scissor to help make the holes a little bit bigger. This can be tricky, so you might need an adult to help you with this part. Haha, success of 1 sail. I might have been a little preemptive to do 3 sails. We'll see. I'm gonna modify by using my glue and using my third sail to add some layering to this sail. So now I've cut out all the parts I need to construct my 3D boat. So I'm going to glue everything down now. You can use a glue stick or liquid glue to glue down all the parts of your 3D boat. I can put my sails and it will be covered by my boat. Your last step is to decorate however you want, to add in those special details. I'm going to use some colored pencils. I'm going to use my colored pencils to add in some details. I'm going to put a nice sun. So I'm going to finish drawing my sun, and out in sea are some birds. So I'm going to add in some birds in the background by making some V's. I can also add in some portholes to my boat. I can also try to draw an anchor when ships dock. I'm drawing the chain to the anchor, which will go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. That's how boats and ships stay in place. So this is my finished 3D boat craft, and this is one that I made earlier called the SS Sunrise. I could name this one too. Our next craft is the painted paper collage. It is inspired by the famous author and illustrator Eric Carle. You might have heard of Eric Carle from our favorite children's books. We are going to start by making a fun painted pattern collage. You are going to need a piece of white paper and some paint. So I'm going to use all of these paints to make it nice and colorful. You can find all the different objects to make these patterns wherever you are. What you first need to do is put the paint down before you can add the textures and patterns. You can use however many colors and in whatever way you choose. You're the artist in this craft. Eric Carle used painted pieces of paper for his art, so that is what is inspiring us today to make our art. This is all about using your creativity and imagination, so use whatever colors of your choosing and however way in which you want to paint it. I would like to use all different colors because I love all different colors. If you've ever read an Eric Carle book, you know it's full of beautiful paints and colors. So we want to be inspired just like that. I'm going to cover my entire piece of paper with paint before I add in my textures. Please do that as well. Don't be afraid to overlap your colors. The blending of colors can be very beautiful. You are the artist here. If you do not have paint, you can also do this with crayons, colored pencils, oil pastels. anything that is nice and colorful that you have. Now that I'm almost finished painting, I'll be finding objects I can find to make all the different patterns on my painting. So what I have with me is a straw, a fork, I can have some crumpled up paper, a pipe cleaner, some confetti, because who doesn't like some glitter confetti? Anything that you would be able to grab that would create a cool texture, go for it. So I'm gonna start with my paper, and I'm going to put my paper where I can see it and just honestly also layer it. This is just pieces of tissue paper that I cut out earlier. This will add some nice layers to my painting. If you don't have tissue paper, that is okay. Now I'm going to use crumpled up tissue paper, and I'm going to put some white paint on it to make, that's not coming out so well, so maybe I'll use some black paint to make some texture. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just having fun with textures and patterns. If you have a plastic utensil, you can even try this to make it. Let's see how it turns out. Now I'm going to use my straw. I want to try to use a bright color to see if it'll pop through. So I'm going to add my last texture before I move on to the next part of this craft. I'm going to be using this pipe cleaner to add my last texture. Crafting is supposed to get messy sometimes. And I feel like I don't have a lot of texture here, so I'm going to add in 1 or 2 more tissue paper to add in some layers. Now that we have finished, we have 2 options to move forward with this craft. I can leave it just as is, or I can let it dry and create something new with the painted patterns of this cloth. Since this painting is still very wet, we're going to move it to the side, and we're going to work with a painted one from earlier. I already cut some out to make a picture before. In that, we made the very hungry caterpillar. We're going to design something different. I'm going to make a sun today, and you can use the paper over and over again to create anything that you want. So you will need a pair of scissors to cut out your design. Do not hesitate to ask a grown-up for help. I'm going to cut out half of a circle or a semicircle to create my sun on the horizon. And the sunset needs some rays. So I'm going to cut out some triangles to make my rays. You can do all different shapes and patterns to create your new picture. Maybe you want to make a butterfly or a flower or a piece of fruit. The world is your oyster in how you want to create. That is the incredible part about art, in that you have full control in how you want the art to come out. So now you'll need some glue to glue down the pieces of paper for this art. You can use crayons, colored pencils, markers, oil pastels to color in the rest of your painting. So I'll be using the markers to fill in the rest of the drawing. Just have fun with the rest of it however you see it. I am drawing the ocean right now because this is a sun at sunset. So I'm using the blue for the water. And the blues can be all different blues, or if I use my imagination, Who's to say water is blue? I can make it shades of all different colors. And there are waters around the world that change colors because of the sun's rays. The little green that I'm using in it can also represent some of the seaweed or life that you would find in the sea. Now I'm almost done with my sun. I'm just gonna add in a few birds and some clouds. And this is what I made with cutting out pieces of paper of different patterns of my painting. But earlier, I also made a caterpillar. This is my finished craft. I hope you had so much fun making this 3D boat craft and the painted paper collage. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Wow, we had so much fun crafting with you today. We're coming in for a landing to our final destination, our exciting trivia game. I'm going to ask you 10 questions about today's adventure. There will be 4 answers, but only 1 will be correct. Can you figure out the right answer? Let's play!
Welcome to Wheels Up Trivia. Question 1. We visited museums that display A. Picture books and dog collars, B. Toilet seats and instant noodles, C. Ice cream and spies, or D. All of the above. It seems wacky, but we saw all of these things. Question 2. The USS Constitution is a ship, B. Museum, C. Important document, or D. Both A and B. The U.S. Constitution is an important document, but the USS Constitution is a ship. What did we use to build ships at the USS Constitution? A. Iron, B. Lego bricks, C. Candy, or D. Checkers? Lego bricks! So fun! Question 4. Where did we jump into a giant pool of sprinkles? A. The Children's Museum of Manhattan, B. The Cup Noodles Museum, C. The Underwater Museum of Art, or D. The Museum of Ice Cream? Correct! Yummo! Question 5. Which popular children's book creator has a museum named after them? A. Eric Carle, B. Beverly Cleary, C. Judy Blume, or D. Mo Willems? Mo Willems does have their own exhibit, but not a whole museum. Question 6. The Toilet Seat Art Museum was created by A. Banker, B. Plumber, C. Chef, or D. Superhero? A plumber! How fitting! Question 7. We did not see or hear about toilet seats decorated with A. Pokemon cards, B. Pez dispensers, C. Baseball cards, or D. Star Wars figures? We didn't see any baseball cards, but I'm sure there's a toilet seat out there with them. Question 8. Cancun's Underwater Museum of Art has over 500 A. Pez dispensers, B. Kangaroos, C. Noodle packages, or D. Sculptures? And weren't those sculptures so cool? Question 9. At the Cup Noodles Museum, we A. Climbed a noodle net. B. Jumped into a seasoning pool. C. Ate noodles. Or D. All of the above. We got to do all of those cool things. And our final question, number 10. Where is the Dog Collar Museum? A. England. B. The US. C. Japan. Or D. The Sunrise Treehouse. All the way in England and so worth the trip. Thank you so much for playing trivia with me today. We'll see you next time.
Wow, you did such a great job with trivia today. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Wheels Up. I had so much fun with you today. Did you know that there are so many more Wheels Up adventures available for you to enjoy? Just head to our YouTube channel or download the Sunrise Studios app, available on your mobile devices, iOS or Android, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We can't wait to see you on our next flight with Wheels Up, brought to you by the Sunrise Association, Sunrise Studios, and American Airlines. See you next time. Bye!